Well, here we are, up walking in the mountains. Apparently it decided it was really gonna snow today. Yeah, it's kind of where we're at. Love to be able to show these guys out there running around, looking, seeing what we can find, taking a hike, see if we can find any animals just to look at them. I may have underdressed just a little bit out here, but that's all right. Life goes on. Get walking far enough and you'll warm up eventually, or you turn around and head back. Either way, we'll get that figured out. Turn around and look at these dogs real quick. Get the dogs out there running. We're gonna be seeing if my shed training's been paying off or not. Mocha can hunt. Mocha's the lab, so she's my chocolate lab right there. And that's Rye. He's a Gordon setter. It's a beautiful dog. I know some people like to put coats on their Gordon setters and their setters in general, but he does pretty good without him. I don't trim his coat. I trim his toes here and there. Kind of feel like a dick today though, because I didn't trim him before we came out here. So guess we'll see what happens. That's all we can do. Anyways, Mocha's been working on training to find sheds, so I don't have any expectations or aspirations. Well, I guess I do have an aspiration that she'll find one, but I don't have any expectations of it since, well, it's snowing and I have yet to train her in the snow on it. But she generally has a pretty good nose. She started out as my pheasant / duck dog. Trained her to wait before flushing, wait until the command. So she does pretty good with that. The downside to having the puppy though is they get a little competitive every once in a while, so she doesn't always wait for the command anymore, but whatever. C'est la vie. It is what it is. I could care less. She does what I want her to do, and that's all that really matters. Let's get through here real quick. Flip this around again and see what this looks like. Yeah, this is my first time doing this shit, so with a camera, we'll see how this works. Not having a screen to see where you are is a little bit interesting. That's all right. That's just gonna kind of vlog through here a little bit and see what's going on, and I have some ideas of what I want to do on this channel, and I think part of it's going to be showing my days here and there, my hikes, my bike rides, as in bicycles. Out hunting with my dogs, out just hunting in general, out glassing, out hiking, maybe even some other fun things. Go out shooting every once in a while. Yeah. So my dogs like to make me follow them, which doesn't always pay off in the end, because that's a freaking dog trail, not a people trail. That's not gonna work. I can drop down, but I don't want to drop down. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and backtrack. Let's go this way. Yeah, that looks cool. I don't know how cool it's gonna be, but yeah, let's try it, right? Fuck it. Get it. Why not? Might as well. What's the worst that can happen? Hate my life. Bad choices. Do this one-handed. That gets even more interesting. Well, Milka made it up. She'd already turned back once, going, "Yeah, no, we're good. We don't need to come up here." But here we go. All right, we'll come back to this. I'm gonna work my way through here and see what I can do. So we're back at it. Made it through all that shit. It's pretty thin right there. It was a lot thicker than that. Now we're out here. Let's go ahead and go, Moko. Let's go. There's Rye. Me and Rye used to run around. I used to go up the hills and down the hills. He's definitely got a lot of energy. The one thing that he did learn from my lab is that when out running around in the snow, we eat snow for water. They'll drink water too. I don't have water for them, but a lot of times they're just eating the snow, so it's kind of cool. Right now, unfortunately, he is chewing snowballs off of his paws because I'm a jerk and didn't shave his paw hair between his toes and kind of was mean to him. I didn't think we were going to be up here, and I didn't think there was going to be this much snow. It really hasn't had much snow up here all year. And then it came on yesterday. So there's a couple inches of snow, 3-4 inches. Not a whole lot. It's definitely nice and warm up here. So that's good. It's just, they just like to ball up on his fur though. So definitely both looking for something, trying to find something working. You know, I don't get out as much as I should. I really should get out a lot more just because it helps me mentally reset and do some stuff. I just love doing it. Whether it's hunting or hiking or biking. I've been pretty much overweight for most of my adulthood life. Even when I was in the military, I was overweight, and I wasn't in the military very long. I was kind of that shitty teen in the military, but it was what it was. I did it. Regret not staying in, but at the time, I would have just gotten in a lot of trouble, so it was pointless, unfortunately. But things are great. Things go great in my life. There's lots of ups and downs, obviously. It's been a lot more downs than ups, especially with how I used to look at life. I don't look at life that way as much anymore. I kind of try to look at life at what can be better for me. How can I better myself? How can I better my family? How do I motivate my family? Sometimes my motivation's a little anti, unfortunately, because I'm a big smartass too, and that's just kind of how I deal with, it's how I kind of deal with myself sometimes. Just, it's a lot easier to be a smartass sometimes than it is to sit there and, I don't know, I have an issue not speaking my mind sometimes, so sometimes being a smartass and putting a little bit out there of speaking my mind or just messing around helps me keep from doing it. Or if I'm not having a great day, then sometimes it'll just how I deal with my day, unfortunately or fortunately. The thing I gotta do is kind of watch out where my dogs are, because there was a pack of wolves up here. Saw them up here a few weeks ago. Well, I saw one of them, heard them all up here a few weeks ago, and my dogs really haven't been ever around wolves, so they don't know what to do with that and how to deal with that, and which is fine. But Rye, my Gordon setter, will run the distance sometimes, so I do have a GPS tracker on both of them. They are correction collars, yes, for those of you that see it and want to point it out and want to think that I'm mean. I bet you I push the shock button once a year, and that's usually because somebody doesn't want to listen to me, somebody doesn't want to do what they're supposed to be doing, and they're off doing their own thing. We're gonna look out over here real quick and see if we can see anything. It is pretty good. Nice looking out there. Don't see any animals, but that doesn't surprise me. One, because of the weather, and two, well, the weather. The weather just doesn't cooperate with me, wanting me to be able to see that far. I don't have the best binos in the world, but I do have a decent set. They will get me out there. They are Vortex 12x50 Vipers. They definitely get the job done pretty well. Put them up to some other expensive glass, and yes, the expensive glass usually is a couple power less, and it tends to be just as good. So I mean, the glass isn't as good, obviously, because it takes a couple more power to be able to see the same, but the glass does do its job. So yeah, watch the dogs run around a little bit more. Getting it right? Did you get it? Let's see here. This is where we ran into your friends, the turkeys, before, right? I don't have any hopes for finding any deer sheds today. It's a little early for elk sheds. It's still possible. Might be a random elk that's shed out already. Not really kind of use sheds as an excuse to get out in the woods. It's kind of my motivation. It's only my second year doing it, and I haven't really ever found any. I mean, I found one set. My brother-in-law's found one half of a deer. Other than that, I'm not very successful with it, but still learning, still kind of watching. And I didn't get out much last year during shed time. And when I did, it was late. And where I'm up at, there are several people that like to be up here. There's one family in particular that hits it pretty hard. So it's to be expected. The biggest thing is there's a lot of depression that runs in my family. There's a lot of anxiety. There's some bipolarness. There's a lot of all that. I deal with it here and there. Just the depression more than anything. And, part of that I think is towards my weight. The other part of it is I don't feel that I've accomplished a whole lot. Now, I've accomplished 3 things that are really big in my life. I've been married for 21 years, and I've got 2 kids. One's living on his own and doing very well, fights his own demons, but he's doing very good on his own. And the other one is at home, working, going to school. I guess you can call it going to school. It's that online crap, and most kids struggle with it. Adults really struggle with it too. I know adults have kind of managed to figure it out because we've been doing it a little bit longer, and the maturity levels there, so it's a little bit easier. But my wife and I both got our bachelor's degree while our kids were early on. I got my associates and she got her bachelor's degree, and then I ended up getting my bachelor's degree once they're a little bit older, but I did that online. And I'll tell you what, the motivation to sit down and actually do stuff didn't work. It was a whole lot like high school all over again. I just would wait until the last possible second, sit down and do it. Sometimes that meant I got a decent grade. Sometimes I didn't. Half the time I didn't give a shit, just because, it's just who I was. Grades are important. I would have had a 4.0 for my associates, but one of the classes I didn't care about. So I didn't do my best. I did what it took me to get by, and I ended up getting a C. So I graduated with like a 3.85 or something like that. Sure, can't balk at it. Can't really complain about it. But really, in the end, 4.0 would have just been killer. Would have been that one more. Look, I finally accomplished something. I ended up getting my GED as a kid. I didn't finish high school. There's lots of excuses why I didn't finish high school, and none of them matter. Still got my GED. Still got my associates. I've got my bachelor's. I've thought about a master's, but let's be honest, it's not going to get me anywhere. So why do it? And I know with that mentality, it's not going to, but the line of work that I'm in now, it's not going to get me very far. Well, it'll get me pretty far, but know where I want to be. I cooked for 17 years. I was in the restaurant business, and I do what I like to call retired in place. I work for a company that takes care of their employees all right. It's a guaranteed paycheck. It's got a decent retirement. It's got a decent savings plan for that retirement. And, I can't complain. And even on the hardest day of work, it's really the easiest day of work I've ever had in my life. And anybody who says otherwise in this business is lying out their ass, or they're overthinking things way too much. I'm not going to go into what I do, though. It's just not. I don't put it out there on social media. I don't put it anywhere. It's not worth it to me. I don't really care. Nobody needs to know. And honestly, it allows me to speak my mind a little bit more freely, just because I don't have to worry about HR or the police coming after me, the work police, Facebook police coming after me because my job's listed and I'm representing. So I just don't. It's a lot easier that way. It's a lot of talking I'm doing right now. It's just a little opening. I'll get a little bit more straight up with these. I don't know how often I'll post, but I'm going to try to post at least once a week, if not twice a week. I'm sure I'll probably take it while I'm running. When I take the dogs out for my runs, I'll probably do that as well. And then I'll end up going to the gym after my run usually. Hopefully it's nothing like this last week where I hit the gym and I worked out way too hard, and I ended up getting both my biceps swelled up. My left one was like a softball knot, and that knot moved after 2 days. It wasn't good. So I'm back to feeling good. When I was stretching my arms out, it made me feel sick. So now I'm back to feeling good. So getting out here, I promised my dogs last week that I would take them out last week when I had my day off. But I had a day. I made excuses 2 days in a row. It was a lot easier to make excuses sometimes than it is to actually do it. One day I was dressed up, ready to go. Well, dressed up enough that my lab knew exactly what I was going to go do. She knew she was going to go work. And then I promptly took my shit off and sat down on the couch. That didn't go over so well. So it is what it is. But so here we are. And we will pick up another time later. All right, peace out.